Welcome to the Jeff Canada Show. But if you're going to get your feelings hurt, you might need to turn this shit off.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Jeff Canada Show. I drove out to College Station today to talk to my buddy Cody Hodges. What's up, dog?
What's up, Jeff?
How's it going, man?
Man, it's good. I'm glad you made it here safe.
Yeah, it was good. I ran into a musician who just put out a CD at the store right up the front of your road here. And
It used to be called Twisters.
I can't remember his name now, but he gave me a copy of his CD. And I've met him 100 times. I'm drawing a blank. But it was funny just walking in and running into somebody like that out here.
You never know who you're going to run into in Snook, Texas.
Yeah. Is that what this is, Snook?
Yeah, pretty much. Snook, Tunis, Caldwell, Cooks Point.
College Station.
Yeah, College Station. We're on the west side of the Brazos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm looking out what the view behind you, man. It's just gorgeous, dude. Golly.
Oh man, lot of folks have put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to.
That's Texas.
Yeah.
You got oil rig out there. You can see Kyle Field from here.
You can get the binoculars out. You can read on the stadium itself. So it's pretty cool, you know.
And you were born and raised out here, right?
I was born in Bryan, Texas.
Okay.
Raised in a pecan orchard not too far from here.
Yeah.
And went to Caldwell High School. Went on to A&M. Then I moved to Nashville after A&M. Well, briefly, it wasn't all that long. I got a place to stay with. I moved up there right before all the social media and everything, you know. So
what year was that?
It was like 2006.
Okay.
You know, so I might have had MySpace,
right?
You know, I didn't have any friends, didn't have a job, didn't have a place to stay. So, but I ended up finding all of those and you know, got a place to stay with a guy by the name of Jay Andrews, and he played steel guitar for a bunch of greats. You know, still picks guitar. I mean, you can find him in Music City Bar and Grill in any given like Friday or Saturday. You know, picking tunes with some of those guys.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, so
it's always fun to hang out with some of those guys that been around the block. I got to play. I jumped up on stage and did a song with Monty Dawson.
Okay.
And he had the guitar player that was playing with him that night used to play with Gary Stewart. And so like talking to him, and it's really cool whenever you get to hang out with some of those old heads, and
you learn a lot.
You learn a lot.
You learn the stuff that you didn't know didn't know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that, you know. So I stayed up there a little while though, and I had this. I know this sounds crazy, but I had a crazy dream, and it told me to move back home, and I joined the Army. And so I wasn't up there all that long the first time, and then so in fact, I was probably having too much fun. You know, we know a thing or two about that.
Not me. I'm an angel. I'm a total angel. I've never even been drunk in my life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I never lie like Zach Top. Yeah. And so when I moved up to the first time though, I had a job on Broadway. You know, that was back when Broadway was just 4th and 5th Avenue. That's pretty much what it was. You had to go down the road a little bit and take a left to get to the Wild Horse over there, you know, and all that area.
Yeah.
So, I came in there. I was a bar back. I worked at Crossroads. Of course, that's not there anymore. The Stage, Legends Corner. There's a bunch of them I worked the first time, and I was just pretty much bar backing it, you know, and just setting in where I could, but yeah, that led to. I think I don't know. I had these something inside of me that was just telling me, hey man, you need to join the Army, and you know. You have a little too much fun here in town, boy. You need to go do something responsible.
So what year was that? What year was it you joined?
2007.
And you were in for how long?
For 2.5 years. I signed up for 2. Of course, I had my A&M degree, you know, and I could have went officer, you know, but I ended up going enlisted, you know. And
where'd you go to basic?
And basic in Fort Leonard Wood.
Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Yeah. So they call it Fort Lost in the Woods, and we got lost out there a few times, but it was a lot of fun. I think the Army, like to me, when I went to basic training, I felt like there was there's probably more than two kinds of people in there, but there was those kinds that like that stuff,
Yeah.
and there was people that like figuring like what did I sign up for,
Yeah.
you know, and so I was the kind of guy. I'm a country boy, and so that was like all up my alley. Everything we were doing were like stuff I like to do,
Yeah.
you know, and so
100%.
you know, and so and so I had a good time, and then did my AIT, which is secondary training down there in Fort Huachuca, you know, for intelligence. And man, then I got to my first duty station, Fort Carson, Colorado, and I was playing music. After I got there, I was playing music with a homeless man on a street corner, and somebody came out of the crowd and offered me a business card. Next thing you know, I'm singing for the Army, and so I did entertainment. You know, we were in Division West. Pretty much. Our coverage area was mostly everywhere west of the Mississippi, you know, and man, it was crazy, man. Like went from basically playing in my house garage to like playing it. I mean, the biggest show we ever played for was 101,000 people at the Texas Motor Speedway for a NASCAR race.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like wow, like, you know, and so that was
cool.
really awesome, man. It showed me a whole, like, I don't believe I had ever like eaten at an Olive Garden until then either, you know, and I thought that was like fancy. You know?
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, Olive Garden's that fancy Italian food.
yeah.
I used to think the same thing. And my girlfriend, who's Italian, she's like, "That stuff is gross." And I'm like, I like it. I don't mind going.
Yeah.
She, you know, she knows where the traditional Italian places are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Army basic training is one of those things where you find out real quick what you're willing to put up with,
Yeah.
and what your weaknesses are. But also you find out, like, to me, there's two types of people that go to basic. There's the types that are just going to run over anybody that's in front of them, and there's types that help the people around them. And you find that real quick in basic training.
Yeah, and sometimes
I only did 4 weeks. I broke my ankle, so I went to Fort Sill. I went to Fort Sill,
Oh
Oklahoma.
man, I did not know that.
But I joined.
Thank you for your service.
Well,
and,
no,
and well, to put your name on the line.
Yeah,
you know,
I
not
don't-
everybody even goes that far.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. I just don't look at it that way. You know, you know, it was just one of those things. Just is what it is. You know, sometimes I think about it, I get mad that it happened because I no telling where I'd be if I would have stayed in. But
yeah.
other times I'm
Hey
glad
man,
it happened.
the
because,
good Lord puts us all where
yeah.
we need to be. You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah, it was one of those things where at the time I was pissed, man. I was like, golly, dude, this sucks. Because, you know, I was 23. How old were you when you joined?
man. I mean, it was probably 23, 24. I was a little bit
Yeah.
older than most of the guys that were with me.
See, and that's another thing. It's a little bit easier when you're a little older. You got a little more life experiences.
Oh yeah.
Than it is, because I was in there with a bunch of 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, and they were just messing up left and right. And so it was easy for me because I just wasn't that stupid.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
see, I was the guy who liked to have fun.
Yeah.
And so I was made an example of a lot of times, but it was in a fun way, you know. They
Yeah.
needed a guy to play the role, and I was that guy, you know. So
Yeah.
and in fact, after graduation, I got they take your picture of the whole
Yeah.
company or whatever, and I had everybody like sign the back of it, you know, as many people as I could find. There's a lot of people, you know, but people that were just I don't know, it just I would start, you know, even years back, I still go back and read that thing because people tell me how I helped them make it through basic training, which I didn't think it was much, you know, but
just make them laugh.
but make them laugh,
yeah.
make them like feel like they were part of something, you know, and you know, because I mean that's the whole goal of life, is that no matter where you're at, is to form, you know, to form some kind of unity with whoever you're around and working with, you know, and you know, it's unfortunate that I haven't really been able to do that with the music business. I've been kind of a lone wolf out here in the music world, you know, but it's been a lot of fun.
Sometimes
you know?
that's the best way to do it, man. You could be like me and just be burning bridges left, making friends and burning bridges.
Hey man, that's how we learn though, Jeff. Hey, that's how we learn, and hopefully, the mistakes that you've made or that I've made or that anybody else is watching, help the mistakes that you make, hopefully they're not ones that can't be fixed and can't be
for sure. And that's why I got this thing started. I got this thing started for a couple reasons. One of those is because I was such a crappy conversationalist.
Oh, me too.
Like it would get to the point
Me
where
too.
I would be thinking, I would just be listening to respond, not listening to hear what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And so I knew that would help me with this. And now I'm becoming a better listener on every aspect of my life because of this. But another reason is because I kind of wanted to draw back the curtain a little bit, not just to the music industry, but to the stuff that people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The stuff that people are a little bit afraid to say, whether it might be political or whatever it is. Just kind of pull back the curtain just a little bit, because man, if there's something that one of the guests have gone through, or something that I've gone through, that another one of these younger musicians or another younger person or more inexperienced person can hear, and it can get them from falling in one of these traps that we've fallen in. I mean, I'm sure you have. I have.
Oh yeah.
I've made multiple $10,000 mistakes in the last.
I would say. I mean, we talked about it even before the cameras were up today, but the drinking thing. Like the less you can drink, the better off you'll be.
100%.
I mean, it's true. You know.
I look at guys sometimes, the ones that are that's kind of their brand. Because there's quite a few of them that's their brand. Is that? I mean, hell, it used to be my brand.
One of my biggest songs is "One More Drink."
Yeah.
And so I've lived some of that song, and I feel that not every now and then I might have a few drinks but the whole goal in life is to set that guy in the music video as an example of like stop yourself before it gets to that point.
Right.
Like
man, let me tell you something. If you want to do this at a high level, you've got to know where you're at whenever you're doing what you're doing. And what I mean by that is you have some venues that you can go in and you can get a little sloppy at. They don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
And matter of fact, I've been hired specifically because of that. But
it's like, hey, we know Jeff is going to have a great time here. Let's get him over
exactly.
here. I mean,
Yeah. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to be the person that goes to a festival and gets so slammed that everybody talks about you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be that person.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
Or you don't want to be the guy that everybody feels like they have to have an intervention with you because you're just off the rails,
Say, hey, man, hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you got to tone it down. Now, I've never really had anybody do that for me. I mean, what got me to quit was the Houston Rodeo in 2022.
And the reason I didn't even really hear about it, but
everybody else
did. But I think I've heard you talk about it, a few times on your podcast and stuff. And
every time I do a F up, or I Jeff something up, you know what I mean? Every time I do that, I try to do is I try to own it publicly. Because I feel like the faster you just own it publicly, the faster that you get over it, and
how you got to get over it, man. You got to get over it, period.
Yeah. As long as you're not doing something that's like really.
Oh, if you're not hurting people, and you're not like, and that stealing is hurting people because it's hurting people's feelings and hurting people's emotional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What I mean, or like messing with kids or any of that like crazy stuff. If you're just we're all human, and we're all going to make mistakes, and we're all going to get a little drunk sometimes, and we're all going to get, we're all going to do stuff that we probably shouldn't do. It's just, that's part of what we do. We test those limits. Just the older we get. How old are you now?
41.
I got you beat. I'll be 46 next month. But when you get past 35, really, it's like, hopefully you're the kind of person that learns from those.
Oh man,
those mistakes.
Hopefully so. Hopefully you don't keep repeating them. Right. Just depending on whatever that is, for you. Because everybody's got their own mistakes that they make, and I mean, you'd think that by now that we'd hope to have something figured out.
Well, it's hard for us as artists, and I have some people that have been really coming down on me lately for being negative and complaining a lot.
Well, and, I've heard you do that, but I mean, the thing about it is for like it all depends on the message that, you know what I mean? Like, cause I understand that there's certain things, and I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're good.
But there's certain things that kind of piss you off and chap your ass, know. But and sometimes there's got to be a place where you talk about it, Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but the problem is that when you're an artist, right, and you're a DIY artist like we are, you're independent, and when you're working your tail off, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 hours a day sometimes to put your art out there in front of everybody, and then either A, nobody hears it, or B, people crap on it. It's like what, like it's just so it's very, very difficult to deal with. And I think what happens is, I think some artists hit their lick, right, and they don't have to worry about the little stuff that we have to worry about. I think some artists give up because they can't handle dealing with the stuff we have to deal with. And I think the leftover artists get jaded.
Oh, yeah.
That's just how I feel about it. I mean, I think if you're, when you've been doing this as long as I've been doing it, as long as you've been doing it, and you just get doors shut in your face, it's no this, no that, no this, it starts to take a toll on you. And I'm just one of those guys that likes to call bullshit out when I see it.
No, it's true. It's true. Because I was laughing because when I started, I used to know a lot of people my age that played music who were like pretty actively like doing music.
Yeah.
But I feel like the older you get, the less friends, and pretty soon the people that you meet are like other people that like, it's just people I met when I first started playing. Like they're no longer, like a lot of them are no longer playing music.
Right.
For one reason or another. Because
they're smart.
Yes.
Because they have a brain. Like, I mean, I don't know why anyone would choose.
Oh, I laugh because it's true. I mean, I all the miles, all the like the washing even, like just trying to stay out of the red.
Yeah.
Like when with an A&M degree, I could probably have a job doing a lot of other things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like there's something messed up with us, man.
There is.
And there's something to be said for that too. Me joining the Army with an A&M degree and going enlisted instead of going officer, because that's more money in the officer side.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you also, you don't want to get messed with when you're a lieutenant because.
Oh, I wouldn't care. But I just, it wasn't for me. I mean, as far as
yeah.
I don't want to be bossing people on stuff that I don't even know. I'm just getting orders from somebody else to boss you. It's just, I don't know. I just wanted to join at the bottom, and they still let me come in as an E4. So
yeah, I went as an E3.
Yeah, so I wasn't at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
So.
The Army's a hoot.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I met some great friends, great people throughout my army career, my short Army career. But I still I feel like I haven't really gotten out. I still work out. I still promote the Army. That was one of my jobs when I was in there, promoting the Army, and so I still do that. And. Not just the Army. I mean, the military, though. I mean, because we are the land of the free because of the brave. And without people signing up and putting their name on that line, not everybody pays the ultimate sacrifice. But by putting your name on that line, it says, hey, man, like kind of like that Toby Keith song. I don't want to die for you, but if dying's asked of me, I'll take.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really. When you put your name on that line, you're telling them, hey, use me however you want to use me.
Yep.
And I mean, man, I love this country so much. I mean, I was doing Ancestry.com, man, and I did Ancestry.com, and I've been looking up, I mean, it goes pretty far back. I mean, like I'm going like the 1600s, and I'm still here in America.
Yeah.
So on my dad's side, we got people who actually fought in the Revolution.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they fought in Revolution, War of 1812, the Civil War. I mean, every war that's fought, I found people in my tree that's fought in all of them,
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see that and to know that hey, I'm taking and of course I signed up before I even knew all this.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but now knowing what I know, you know, man, I'm so glad that I did sign up. You know, and I just feel like it's, and we're talking about people you mean like Scott Brown.
Yeah.
You know, like him and I probably wouldn't be as good of buddies as we are if I wouldn't have joined up for military and he wouldn't have joined up for military and you know, and like
Yeah, there's a brotherhood in it for sure.
you know, I mean, because you know, he lives up there near Nashville too. He lives on the east side and I live on the west side, you know, and so.
Unless you're in the Air Force, everybody just makes fun of you then.
Well, I tell you what.
I'm just kidding. They're the smartest ones.
Man, hey, when I was in the Army, like entertaining, we got to go on some of those Air Force bases. They'd fly us in on the helicopters.
They're insane.
You know, and I was like, I started looking around. I said, these people got it made. I said,
yeah, there was some.
You know,
they were doing some joint training stuff in Fort Sill when I was there, and it was like a bunch of people.
Fort Sill, Lawton, Oklahoma, baby.
Yeah, in April too. It was terrible.
Yeah, I got family up there in Lawton.
Man, it was like tornado alarms every friggin' night. It was terrible. But they were doing joint training, and so there was a bunch of Navy guys, Air Force guys, Marines. No, I don't think it was in Marines, and I was talking to a couple of the Air Force guys, and they were like, "Yeah, we actually get extra money put on our paychecks every month because we have to stay in y'all's places because the Army barracks aren't up to their level, so they actually got paid
an upgrade or the,
yeah.
I guess I know what you're
How crazy is that?
That is. I mean, it is what it is. You know, hey, you know, hey, more power to you. Hey, if you do like the better things in life, and you want to go that route, the Air Force is probably the way for you.
That's
you
what
know,
I told my
like
kid too. My son's thinking about going, and I told him all the time to join the Air Force.
Yeah. I still, I mean, I wouldn't trade my Army experience for anything. You know, I mean, I got dealt an amazing hand on that deal. You know,
I did not. I got messed with a lot. I got smoked all the time.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying I'm not. Well, my last name is Hodges, and they call me Hodgie.
Dude, I was getting it for the last name Canada. Last name Canada, United States Army. Oh god, I'm having flashbacks. Have to drop down the front leaning rest position.
Oh yeah, man. I had to. They would always, you know. Of course, I was the guy that was just. And I don't know what it is, but I don't know, maybe I was just training really hard or you know, they would sit us in these big auditoriums, you know, in those group sessions, and I would be like the only dude that would be falling asleep, you know, and so a lot of times they'd call me out, make me come up to the front and just basically have their way with me.
Yeah.
Whatever they told me to do, like it was front leading, you know, rest position or the dying cockroach or the, you know, I mean, there's so many. Yeah, like yeah. I was the example, you know, but I liked it though. People like, you know, like I could take it, you know, right. like I'm just born like that. I've been, you know, I've been in a joking environment my whole life. Like I'm part Czech, and you know, you know,
and grew up in an apple orchard.
Yeah, man.
Is that what an apple or pecan?
Pecan. Pecan. Yeah, pecan. Big old pecan orchard.
Let's talk about Nashville. So you moved to Nashville in 2006. Is that what you said?
For the first time.
For the first time, you then joined the Army, then you moved back. Mm-hmm. And you're married now.
And
did you meet your wife here or there?
No. I met my wife after. I actually, some people don't know this about me, but this is actually my second marriage.
Okay.
You know, and so first one didn't work out. I met her in the Army.
Mine didn't either.
And you know, hey, she was a nice gal. Yeah, really nice gal. You know, it just didn't work out for one reason or another. You know, she was actually in school half the time we were married. You know, and so she was away, and so it was. You know, and I was a power lineman. I got out of the Army, and I didn't know really what to do. So my dad, he was a power lineman for like 40 years before he retired, and ended up doing the power line business. And of course, I had been in and out of the business pretty much since I was out of high school. You know, so you know, in a bunch of different companies. You know, just from from being the guy on the ground to the guy in the bucket, doing the stuff, but yeah, man.
That's another just hard job.
Yeah, but like I said, I do things that just doesn't make sense, for normal people.
Yeah.
But for me, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go do it.
Same as
like
musicians.
like after this, I'm gonna ask you if you want to go on a little short ATV ride.
Hell yeah,
dude.
and
so
a little short, a little long, whatever we can. I'm down to get into whatever we get into out here. And I get back out in the country, dude, and it's just like it's heaven to me, man. I want to move from where we are so bad. And I keep talking to my lady about it. I want to move up to like the Glen Rose, Granbury area or somewhere up there or somewhere. I got to get out of Houston, man. I got to get out of Houston so bad. It's just it's Houston. The crime is going up so much.
Yeah.
The demand or even care for live music has dropped to little to nothing. I mean, there's pretty much zero scene now in Houston. I mean, there never was a big one, but at least there was some, and now it's nothing. And then with the border thing, there's just so many people there now. I live in the Woodlands, which is north of Houston, which is one of the nicer parts of the Houston area. And you can't get anywhere, man. You cannot get anywhere. So anytime, and I'm, in 2025 is going to be the year of peace for me. Like I'm changing a lot of stuff around.
Hopefully for a lot of people.
But I don't care about everybody else. Just I know for me, there's going to be peace. Everybody else can deal with what they got to deal with. But I've just been in this hectic lifestyle for so long that I'm kind of used to the fast pace, used to the, you know what I mean? I'm used to like the rat race, and so lately I'm really addicted to just the peace. I'm getting addicted to just the
serenity.
And so anytime I come out to somewhere like here, it's like, man, just like. The vastness just kind of gets you, and it's like, man, and then you start to get inspired because you start to see things you don't get to see in the city.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah. And so not just that, like going to something as simple as going to a gas station and saying howdy to somebody that's in there, or the old man that's sitting on the front porch. You have next thing you know, you have a 20-minute conversation with them about something. You don't get that in the city. Everybody's in such a hurry, and nobody wants to talk to you. I mean, even if you say yes ma'am, no ma'am, they cop an attitude with you. Or if you hold the door,
what did you say to me?
Yeah, you hold the door open. Very few people say thank you. But when you come out here, man, it's like, it's people hold their doors open. They do. I don't know. It's just such a different atmosphere.
That's how Burleson County always has been, though.
I miss it. I'm from Splendora, which is a small town.
Yeah.
And so I was born and raised out in the country, and it's not as much as this, but like. We worked cows and we did all the shit.
We see College Station kind of going in the direction, Bryan College Station going in the direction that you're talking about.
Yep.
Because we've just seen it grown so much since I was a kid. I've sit there and I watch that town grow, and so crazy that they're building all kind of skyscraper type buildings now. I mean, I say skyscraper, but not like Houston skyscraper, but for a country boy, it's like, wow, like, but I mean, it's so crazy, and getting back to the whole Nashville, because you said you want to go to Nashville.
I would talk about Nashville.
And so this is where I'm going with it. Is that living in Nashville now? It's kind of the same thing. Of course, Nashville is called the Music City,
Yeah.
And a lot of people, because I used to have a residency down in Austin too on 6th Street, and I can tell you firsthand that Nashville is the live music capital of the world, America. I don't know what I mean. You go down there now. I mean, when I first started, remember I told you it was just 5th Avenue?
Yeah.
Just one block basically of clubs. And now you go down there, it's got like, I don't know how many blocks it is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, at least like 4 blocks that way, and you got a couple blocks this way, and then you got Printers Alley, and I mean, everything is starting to connect together. But if you're a musician, man, it's a playground, man, because there's always people there traveling from all over the United States coming there for live music.
Yeah.
And they want to hear live music. Some of them want to hear like your stuff. Some of them want to hear something they know. In fact, I think probably about 60% of them, probably 67% of them want to hear something they know. Just because they don't know your music.
Yeah.
But then you start playing them something they know, and then next thing you know, like it's like, hey, you got one? It's like, I got a few. Which one you want? What you want to talk about? Love? You want to take me take you to the beach?
Yeah.
We're gonna do a drinking song.
Sad song. What kind of
sad
music
song.
you
What
want?
kind of song you want?
Yeah. Yeah, Nashville to me, like I said, I have not had a great exposure to Nashville. I've been there one time. I've been there twice, but the first time I went was to hang out with Scott Brown, and I was only there for like 24
Love that
hours.
guy.
I had my kid with me, so I didn't go out or do anything. The second time I went, I was up there for like 4 or 5 days, and we recorded a song in RCA Studios.
Oh,
in,
very cool.
It was in Jamie Johnson's personal
Was this
studio.
recently?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought I saw something.
Yeah, this is
something.
last year.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was really cool. And while I was up there, I met up with a bunch of my friends were in town too. Like Peyton Howie was up there, Joey Green was out there. I ran into Tyler McCollum, Parker's brother.
Okay.
I ran into Peyton Riley was up there. She was trying out for American Idol at the same time. And so
Okay,
there was like
okay.
a ton of us up there. And Justin Biltonen, I don't know if you know him, Biltonen. He plays bass for Three Doors Down, but he has his own country stuff.
Oh, very cool.
Got to hang out with him for a bit. And now
you played a show with him, didn't you?
I played a show down here with him. Yeah,
Yeah,
a few
that's
shows.
what I
Yeah,
thought.
every time he comes
yeah.
down here, we try to get him on a stage somewhere.
Yeah,
He's a good dude, man. That part of Nashville was cool. Like, there's this whole musician brotherhood thing that's just really cool. The Broadway thing, like,
That's a different animal, but you can get a lot better. It's like a school.
yeah.
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 I mean, it's not the vibe that you want to stay in.
My thing about Broadway
know?
is, so Houston, Texas, for years and years and years, was one of the best places to live to make money as a musician. I'm not talking about to get known or discovered.
Yeah, but just to make a
But
living.
you can make $300 to $500 every single night.
Just what we were talking about earlier.
For years and years and years and years. I did it for. I mean, I made six figures for years and years and years, just playing other people's songs.
Right.
So to me, Houston is like the cover band, or used to be like the cover band capital of the world, right? Where it's just like so many good cover bands. Everybody wanted cover music. You'd go out. I mean, I would play 5 full band shows a week.
That's awesome.
Shows, you know, making where from $800 to $2,500 a night.
Yeah.
And then and so when I go to Broadway, it's like hell for me. I go down to Broadway, I walk into those bars, and I'm immediately like, get me out of here, because I'm not knocking it. Like, if that's your thing and you want to go see a bunch of bands play other people's songs, then that's cool. But where I fell in love with Nashville was like places like
The smaller
the local,
places.
the
Oh yeah,
local
local
Such Cool
Jeffrey,
Spot. Blue Bonnet obviously is awesome. Or not Blue Bonnet, Bluebird Cafe.
Bluebird, yeah.
Such a cool spot. I mean, there's just like some really cool spots where you go and there's always songwriters hanging out. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's the cool part of Nashville.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That and just all the session players, and there's just so many good players in Nashville, man. So many good players.
Well, see, the reason I even play Broadway to begin with is because, like you said, it's not because I want to be famous or anything. Because everybody who's down there knows that, hey, this is just a grind. It's just to make money. It's just to like pay your bills, But the like you said, like the local, that's one of the places I'll go. Terry Jo Box from Nacogdoches, she kind of heads up a deal. It's called Music Row Freak Show.
Yeah,
they have deals
I met
like
her.
every like Wednesday and Friday, and so if you just go up there and get in with them folks, and like me, if I'm not doing anything or if I'm not having another show to play, I'll go in there and sit in with them, and I know it's a free deal, but you play a few songs and you meet a bunch of other songwriters
that night I met Max Flynn, who lives out here out of Houston. He's so good. Him and his wife are so good together. I mean, just tons of people that I still keep in touch with. I met her. She told me to hit her up next time I come into town and I get on one, hopefully. My thing is, I personally never just wanted to do that. That wasn't my goal.
Yeah.
My goal was I want to be in Texas. I want to play real songs, real stories for real folks. That's what I want to do. And that's still what I want to do. And that's why I'm kind of taking this back step of just doing acoustic stuff. Yeah. And I'm going to go around the country next year just playing listening rooms.
Yeah, man, that's cool. Heck yeah.
That's what I'm going to spend all my effort on, is just getting those gigs.
Yeah.
Like JD Graham, I don't know if you know who he is, but
Yeah,
he just goes around playing listening rooms. He will not play a place that has TVs or loud, or he will not. He's told me that he has a conversation with the owner of a venue before he'll ever confirm the show.
Yeah.
Because he wants to let the owner know, hey, I'm not some guy that's going to come in here and play a bunch of, pop country songs. Like I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna make people cry, I'm gonna make people feel things.
Oh yeah, man. Take them through the cycle.
Yeah, and I think that's really rad.
I'm gonna make them feel everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I fit more. You know, I do the full band thing, and we do the festivals, and we have a good time, and
you
know,
got to do a little bit of those. I mean,
Yeah.
don't stop doing it completely.
No, I'm done.
Like,
I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done.
Dang.
The only way I'll do it again, and one idea that I'm having, but I think I got to move out of Houston to do it, is maybe put together another band sometime next year, but more of like a band, more of people that all want to get in and all want to put in some effort, and do it for the fun, do it for, you know what I mean, do it for the love of just writing music with people.
Oh yeah.
And just put it out there, just put music out there without any expectations of, you know, of touring or any of that crap, and then just do the acoustic stuff to pay my bills, and do that for the fun of it. That maybe, I don't know. Right now, I'm just kind of like, what brings me the most peace?
Yeah, hey, you got to have that peace, that serenity, man. That's what we're all looking for.
It's hard because
You know.
I was talking about this. I can't remember who the guest was. We were talking about this. Oh, it was R.D. Floyd. And you know, the thing is, when you do what we do, you're constantly putting your energy out there. You're just constantly you're putting it out there.
And not every day's a good day.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where it comes in tough.
Yeah.
You know,
And you get little in return from folks.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so if you don't figure out some way to kind of fill your own cup back up with something, meaning whatever it might be, whether it's writing or if you don't find a way to fill your cup back up, you'll go insane.
Man, you got to find a way to be happy. I mean, I think for several years, I don't think I was really happy doing the thing, you know. But my Aunt Ag just jumped in here with us. Hey, Aunt Ag.
Howdy.
We got a podcast going on. This is Jeff Canada right here.
How are you?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that I think it's important to be happy, and I think that's the biggest thing out of all of it, because finding a way to be happy, like I don't know, I'm trying to get together the right words here, but I've had times, and we've all had those times that it's like, man, it's just so hard to get up on a stage sometimes. You know, it's like, man, I don't really want to be here today, you know, but luckily I haven't had one of those days in a long time.
Yeah.
You know, because I think with the mindset change, you know, and just to, you got to almost like trick yourself into being happy.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're happy.
Yeah.
You know, it's they call fake it till you make it, but it really is true. Yeah. You know, because especially since you can manifest your own destiny, you know, anything that I'm going to say to you or anybody else is how you're going to view me as a human being.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think it's important to be happy here first, and then everybody else you meet is going to be blessed with your spirit of happiness, and you know what I mean. Like and to me, that's the true meaning of Christmas, right there. You know, is spreading that capital JOI. Hopefully that person goes and makes somebody else's day. Yeah. You know, because of your interaction with them right there. You know, and so it's
just hard sometimes.
It's hard to get that.
It's
hard to get that capital JOY. You know, because sometimes it just comes out JOY, not capital JOY.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's just like, man, I'm trying to be happy over here.
Yeah.
You know, but
you know what I figure out helps me as far. I don't really have those times where I don't want to get on a stage. Like the stage is my happy place. If I'm on a stage, I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
But it's the other stuff, right? It's like I don't feel like sitting down and scheduling these Facebook posts this week, or I don't feel like, you know, I don't feel like going to doing this podcast, or I don't feel like doing this radio interview at 7 a.m, or I don't, you know, it's that kind of stuff that kind of gets you. But really, the thing that gets me the most, and the one thing I'm gonna do better about in 2025 is the comments on social media. That's the thing that gets me the most, because I'll do something gets 1,000 comments, and I'll have 999 positive comments, and I'll have one comment.
Oh yeah,
you
can't let that bother you, because that's it does no good for you, and I don't even know why people even do that.
Yeah,
you know,
you know, whatever, they just want to take their shot. You know, another thing is, so I had turned off my personal Facebook, right, where I was doing everything.
Oh
through
yeah,
my
me
artist
too.
page.
Yeah, I shut.
But for some
mine
reason,
down.
over the last 4 or 5 months, I've been kind of getting more involved in that personal thing, I'll make a comment on somebody's page that's really between me and that person. It might even be an inside thing between me and that person, and somebody will come on and they'll comment on it, and it's just like, so that's something else I'm gonna do is like I'm turning that back off because that's just stupid. I don't need it. It's dumb.
Oh yeah.
And so really. 2025, I'm just going to be output only and just see what happens.
And I got a question too. It's like and of course this is. I mean, I should know the answer to this, but maybe I just want to see how you feel about it. Well, like for instance, that Oliver Anthony was calling out Parker McCollum for using 6 auto tunes on his pedal board or whatever the case might have been. How do you feel about stuff like that? I mean, should people just keep their mouth shut and be happy they're there?
No, absolutely not. I think he's completely and totally entitled to that opinion. I think there's a few problems with that particular instance. One is we did this. It wasn't the studios. It wasn't the government. The people that are on those platforms, we made that guy skyrocket to the moon more than we've ever seen anybody it happened to, right? I mean, I've never seen anything happen like that.
Yeah, it wasn't just we though. It was. There's always,
Well, the point is, we took somebody who was just playing shows every now and then, who wasn't even in the music business at all,
and threw him into the music business.
threw him into the music business. And now we expect him to act a certain way. That's our first problem. Second problem, he specifically said, "I think it was at this festival. The guy playing after me." That's what he said. I think. He didn't say it was Parker McCollum. Everybody else put that together. It could have been Parker McCollum. It couldn't have been Parker McCollum. But because the freaking outrage of the internet these days, that's what happened. Now, if he was calling out Parker McCollum, if that's what he was, I think he should have just said Parker McCollum.
Hey, Parker McCollum.
Yeah, and then and own it, and then let the chips fall where they may. And then if Parker takes offense to that, then he replies like he did, and that's just what happens. It's just part of the deal. But I think the biggest problem with the planet is that people don't speak their mind anymore because they're scared. I think there's so few people like me or like Oliver Anthony or guys even like Up Church, which I don't really like.
Yeah.
But like, there's just not enough people now that will speak their mind about things.
Oh yeah.
And so when you do speak your mind about something, you got all the other people going to come in on you because they don't like it. They don't like it when somebody has an opinion. Nobody likes it when you have something to say. No one likes it when and that's what I've run into, and that's why I've kind of blackballed myself in a lot of the places in the music industry because, like I have an opinion on Texas radio. I have an opinion on backing tracks. I have an opinion on harmony pedals. I have an opinion on iPads on stage. I have an opinion on all those things, and I say those opinions, and it's immediately me being negative. No. Like negativity in my mind is in the eye of the beholder. It's in the eye of the reader.
like that. Yeah, to me, that's opinions aren't necessarily negative. If it's speaking the truth, it's speaking the truth.
Your truth.
Your truth.
Your truth.
But
I think everybody's missing the bigger picture of what Oliver Anthony's saying in that video. Everybody's stuck on this whole Parker McCollum auto-tune thing, but if you watch the whole...
I mean, I don't really care if he does or not.
I don't either. Shit. I don't care what anybody does. Do whatever it gets you do. I mean, I'm either going to like your...
I met the guy several times, man, and
nice guy.
And he knows me,
Super nice guy.
And I've been playing that George Strait golf tournament, and I always see him over there. And
yeah.
I mean, hell... I didn't even see him this last time, and he kind of bumped me and said, "Hey, Cody Joe, what's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Parker McCollum," and it's just little things like that to me, I mean, he was a really cool dude.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Like
I've only met him once, but I've hung out with Tyler a few times. I've met his mom a few times. Like the whole family is just really down to earth, cool people. I mean, but again, I don't think that Oliver Anthony was putting that video out to attack Parker McCollum. I think Oliver Anthony was putting that video out to just let everyone know his truth on what he sees in the music industry.
Oh yeah, just said hey, that people are using
whatever backing tracks. And he was just talking about just the snakes in the industry and all this stuff.
And I think that it's all cool, especially whenever people like understand that it's in there. I think he was just maybe trying to say like, hey, like, you know, some of these bands that like, you know, that you're hearing this really big sound come out of.
Yeah,
like,
it's not all real.
It's not all real. So he just wants people to know that, hey, it's not all real.
Yeah, but
You know,
what he
like-
needs to know is it's called show business.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's called. And you know, if you're one of these people, I'm not this kind of person, right? Like I want my live show. I'm the kind of person. I don't down what anybody else does, but I like my live show to sound completely different than my records. I don't like my live show to sound like my records.
Which it should, but it shouldn't. It should sound close.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be recognizable.
Right, but
you
what
know,
I mean by
but,
that is on the record, I may put a harmonica in there, or I may put a pedal steel in there, or I may put a fiddle in there. But when I go play it on the road, I'm only playing with a 4-piece band.
Hey,
I'm
man,
not,
it is what it is.
And and I'm not gonna put tracks in there.
No,
Me personally to fill those spots.
I'm not gonna do that either.
But I'm not knocking anybody that does it.
No,
I know
absolutely
plenty of
not.
people that do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I don't want to do that, and I want I don't play the clicks either. Not because I down it.
Yeah.
Just because when I play my show, I want my show to be 100% authentic, and I want to be playing to the energy of the stage.
Rootsy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I play a nylon string guitar, so that says enough,
Yeah.
right? You know, I mean, nobody hardly plays nylon string.
Yeah,
you know?
Stephen
Yeah.
Wilson Jr.
Yeah, there's a few.
Stephen
There's
Wilson
a-
Jr.
There's a few.
Badass, dude. God, he's so good. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's I think there's less and less people out there speaking their true, being their real selves. And I think when people do that, everybody has to attack it to make them, because what it does is they want you to not say those things. So they want to come at you so hard to make you self-censor.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what happens to me all the time, dude. I'm telling you, it happens all of the time. I'll get somebody that I thought was my friend unfollow me on Instagram, and when I message them like, hey, is everything cool? Oh, dude, you just, you know, you're too negative. You complain too much. You do this. So then what happens? It gets in the back of your head that, oh, maybe I shouldn't be saying those things. So then you start self-censoring what you're doing. But what you don't realize is every single ounce of ground that I have gained is because of me being that way.
Right.
And so when I stop doing that, then I lose the fans that are with me because of that. And so it's just, you can't do that. You know,
You can't
have
please
to just
everybody.
you just have to be
Yeah.
you, and hopefully you find enough people.
I agree with that.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, I was talking to that dude, Luke Grimes, that Casey off of Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah.
He came in my bar one time and just was sitting there at the back, and you know, I noticed that he was by himself, you know, and so I kind of just, during the break, I kind of just pulled up next to him, just start talking a little bit, and I asked him why he wasn't hanging out with everybody else, you know, and he said, man, he said, I can't, because if I say the wrong thing to somebody, they're going to cancel me. And I was like, man, like, that has to suck to be in that position to where, you know, it's like you have to worry about everything that you say to where it's like everybody's walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it.
And I guess that's
You
what
know.
these people want me to do. And I just had, and I
Well,
did it.
I think
and
that's what
did
they
it.
try to do to all of us.
Yeah, I did it for about 6 months, and I found myself in such a bad case of depression, where, I mean, it was bad. I mean, I was really, really depressed because I didn't have that outlet. I didn't have, you know, I was just holding everything in. I wasn't saying it out loud, and so now what I have is it's a combination of it. Now it's like, okay, I'm gonna post what I want to post when I want to post it, and I don't care if you like it or not. Like, that's fine. But I also have kind of my rage crew of 6 or 8 people that I can text and be like, "Rah!" and like get that out, and they don't.
And you know that they're not going to judge you.
Right,
or
they're not gonna come back
They're
at
going to be
me.
like, oh, that's just Jeff. You
Yeah.
know, like he needs somebody to vent to, and that's me today.
Exactly. I mean, there's just like multiple things. I mean, like you know, I went out to my kids. He tried out. My son plays baseball and he plays select ball, but he tried out for the high school prep team. And last year he went out and had an unbelievable tryout and didn't make the team. And then you find out the reason he didn't make the team is because they already knew all the kids they wanted on the team. Anyway.
And such and such daddy's given
That's
to the boosters and yeah.
That's exactly right. And so this year I went out and I watched him have a tryout, and of course he had a terrible tryout for some reason. I just don't think he cared that much, but like I was watching the coaches while he's an outfielder, right? He's a center fielder. And so while the kids were trying out for outfield, the coaches weren't even watching out there. They were just writing on their clipboards. They were on their phones. They were talking with each other. They weren't watching anything.
Didn't even care.
So the only thing they really cared about was the infield, right, and the hitting. And so in the past, I would have gone on and I would have said something about that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. And I would have been like, but I don't, what I don't want to do is I don't want to come across as a guy that never has anything good to say about anything.
Oh yeah,
and that's
you definitely don't want to be that guy. I mean, you always want to try to lift people up.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's why I started the Artist Spotlight thing, where I do the Artist Spotlight.
I think that's really cool what you do, man.
It's just to kind of counteract some of this other stuff, But I'm not going to complain about the music industry anymore, because really, to be honest with you,
there's nothing we can do about it. You just got to ride the bike the way the bike is.
Yeah, or just make your own bike.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of what I'm doing now. It's like I'm not going to worry about. I never really cared about things like awards or number ones or anything like that. I never cared about that. But, from now on, dude, it's just going to be, listen, this is me. This is my art. This is my music. This is my personality. The thing about me that's so different from a lot of people out there is what you see is what you get. This is me all the time. I'm the same person all the time to everyone, meaning I treat everyone the same all of the time. And if you got a problem with me, I'm not going to change who I am, because there's a whole bunch of people that don't have a problem with me.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm just going to be me. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to put it out for the world to see. And those people that want to be a part of that, let's go. The ones that don't, man, y'all go do whatever you want to do. Because if you're not complaining about me, you're complaining about the restaurant you ate at last night. You're complaining about the president. You're complaining about you know what I mean? So just go.
See, that reminds me of what we were talking about earlier as far as the Nashville scene, and some people, a lot of musicians have different reasons they moved to Nashville, and I feel that a lot of people, and it might have been a glimpse in my eye, as far as back the first time maybe I moved up there, as far as like moving for fame or whatever, but then you realize it's funny because the guy that was my landlord, Jay, the guy's pedal steel guitar player, one of the guys he played for was Johnny Paycheck, and so he was kind of like what you said. He gives it to everybody straight. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. It's just like what it is what it is, and that's what he's gonna say.
Yeah,
and so he was telling me, he said, and this was back in 2006. He said, man, all you little young musicians, and of course I'm not going to say all the words that he that he told me, but he said, y'all parachute into this town, not knowing a damn thing about the town, and y'all want to change it to y'all's way, and you're all writing songs, and y'all are so young that y'all ain't done nothing yet. Y'all write about stuff that y'all don't even know, and just a bunch of and that got to my, got to me, and maybe that was one of the reasons I wanted to, I ended up leaving town, is because I said, man, hey, I gotta go figure out what he was talking about. I need to go live and do some stuff before I come back. 2018, I came back, and then now it puts me in a different class with everybody, because everybody's younger than I am.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy though, because I've noticed some people actually move to town to get famous, and some people move to town because they want to get better at what they do, and so I don't know, like I think all the fame is overrated. I've met a lot of famous people before, and I don't think that they got it any better than I do. I got a pretty dang good life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I want out of what they have is just a few more zeros in my bank account. That's a few more commas in my bank account. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
And that's,
or just maybe not even get to the money aspect of it, maybe just a few more people in the seats, because
Which
how
would
it works.
That.
You know how it works.
Yeah.
Is that the more people know about you, the more people are going to show up. They say that. And I've seen it happen. Like I've seen how people sell out stadiums.
Yeah.
And it pulls some big people to come together to buy a lot of tickets to do that kind of stuff. And I realizing after this many years into it that I don't have enough money to play this game.
Yeah.
So,
no, you're absolutely right.
So I was like, and it's already too late, and so it's like I'm the age I am now, and I'm realizing that wow, man, I don't have the, I don't have the quarters to put into the machine to keep me continuing the game on, and so not saying that I'm talking about on a big level. I mean, anybody can go out there, like we said, anybody can go out there and play music and do it for their job, and if you're steady enough about it, you can make a living doing this.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I do.
Yeah. and so I just feel that that when people, and especially like when tourists and stuff, like, and even people I know, like everybody's a tourist if you don't live there.
Yeah.
So people that come to town, the tourists, I feel like they're like, after they listen to a set or whatever, they'll be like, oh, you're going to make it. It's like, man, like, little do you know, I've already made it. You just don't know my name, and it's so crazy. This is an example. Okay, I was on. I had gotten a private. I played a private birthday party for somebody in Colorado in November.
Mm-hmm.
So they fly me out there. We do the birthday party. I fly back, and when I'm on my way back, like we stop in at Dallas for the to change the planes, and so I got on a different plane, and I'm sitting there because they flew me in first class. So I was like, man, I had never ridden first class before, and so that was pretty cool. But man, I looked over, and Pat Green was sitting right next to me, and I didn't want to like fanboy him or nothing, but I mean, he is one of the reasons that I mean, when I started playing guitar, it was one of his songs that I started playing first, like, and it wasn't, it wasn't everybody else. It was like, it was Texas music. And so anyways, I didn't say nothing about that to him, but I was just kind of like, I told my lady who was sitting right next to him, I said, hey, Pat Green's over there.
Yeah.
I said, not to be that guy, but I just got to like, let you know that, one of my heroes.
Did you talk to him?
A little bit. Here's where I'm getting at. Okay, so this is so freaking crazy. Like, okay, so anyways, everybody's boarding the plane, and I'm sitting here. I don't know what I'm doing. I got my cowboy hat on, and I'm messing with my phone or something. And all of a sudden, somebody says, "Where are you playing at this weekend?" And I'm thinking that they're talking to Pat.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking to me. And so I started talking to the lady, that was coming through. She recognized who I was, and I don't even think she knew Pat Green was sitting right next to us. He was kind of wearing his cap, but I don't know. It was just so crazy that she was talking to me, and Pat Green was right there, and then of course it was after when the plane was, we were departing at Nashville. I got my guitar, put it on my back, and then Jamie, she always plays the cajon, so we've got her cajon, and it was right over his head, and I said, hey Pat, I said I don't want to bother you or nothing. I said, but man, I just want to shake your hand and introduce myself to you. I said, I've opened up a few shows for you, and my name is Cody Joe Hodges. And he said, yeah, Cody, I know who you are, and I was like, and I don't know, it was like this smile came on my face. It's like,
yeah,
Pat Green knows who I am.
Yeah.
Like, no freaking way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy in those things. I opened up for Pat Green the first time back in 2001. Yeah. And it was Pat Green and Corey Morrow, and that was back in the crazy party days for those two. Like,
oh yeah,
it was insane. And then I opened up for Pat Green again in 2021, which was 20 years later. And I had just a real. I mean, he of course didn't remember that, but just like a real maybe 5-10 minute conversation with him. Super nice guy both times. And then Corey is I don't know that you'll find a nicer person on this planet. I mean, last time I opened up for him, we were talking about that first time we opened up, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like those were the crazy days." And then the
That's
other
probably
day,
a-
or not the other day, last year at some point, I can't remember what it was, but he posted a picture. He was wearing a Jeff Canada shirt, and he was like,
nice.
Jeff Canada's a hoss. That was just his post. And I was like,
yeah, man.
it's always cool when you get those, you get people like, and not on that level, but like I was at the Texas Country Music Awards last year, and Jake Worthington was there, and I've never met Jake before, and he was hanging out with Cody Canada, and who I've met, a few times before, and I went over.
And y'all share the same last name.
Yeah. We do. I got his phone number, man. It was crazy. The last time I opened up for him, he gave me his phone number, and so every now and then I'll
He's like,
send,
yeah, cuz, give me a call sometime.
yeah, I'll just send him a text like, hey, happy birthday or whatever, if it's his birthday or something. It's like nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not like friends with him or anything, but I went up to Jake Worthington. I was like, hey man, my name's Jeff Canada. I just want to say, like love what you're doing. Your last record was great. I mean, that last record was a great record. And he was like, dude, what are you talking about? I know who you are. And I was like, I didn't want to bother you. He goes, what bother you? He's like, we're at a bar. He's like, get up in here. And like, it's always cool whenever you meet somebody and they treat you like an equal, because a lot of times you will get big timed by people.
Oh yeah, and I have been big time by
too.
people.
Me too.
Like,
And that's okay. If that's
and we won't talk about those
No,
people,
no.
because you never know what kind of
I've-
pressure they were under.
I've already,
or,
trust me,
you
I've
know.
already learned my lesson
Yeah.
on that one. The first guy that did it to me, it was bad. And then I ended up, like, for the next year, just talking shit about him all the time. And then I was playing a show in, now I've since apologized publicly about it, because it was just me being petty and being in my own head. And, I don't know about all you cancel people out there, but people can change and they can grow and they can make mistakes. It was like a year later or something. I was playing a show, and this lady comes up and goes, hey, can you play so-and-so? And I said, no, ma'am. And she goes, oh, okay.
So
she came back and asked me like 6-7 times, dude. Same guy. And finally, on the microphone, I said, ma'am, I'm not going to play any of the songs, because he's an asshole and he beats women.
Oh.
Because by that time I'm like fed up with it.
Oh no.
And so I just go back to playing my show. We're having a good time playing my show and whatever.
You can accuse somebody of being an asshole, but accusing somebody of beating women, that's
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully
it's a publicly known thing, but whatever. Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know who you're talking about, but I don't want to know.
I won't say it's definitely. Listen, this is definitely Jeff Canada being a butthole. You know what I mean? And so I get done with my show and I walk out and I go to the owner and I'm like, hey man, like everything, he's like, dude, yeah, we always love you when you're here. You killed it. He goes, but he's like, do you know who this is? And he points over to this guy, and this guy stands up, and he's a big dude. Well, it's this artist's brother.
No way.
Is in the crowd. And so I just like take a step back, because I think we're about to go at it. And he's like, listen, man, he's like, you can say he's an asshole if you want to, but saying the other thing, he's like, that's just way out of line.
Oh, so he said the same thing I just said.
He did.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I looked up,
it makes sense.
And I looked up at him and I said, listen, man, I said, you're 100% right. And I said, and I'm not in the business of going out and just pissing people off. So, to you, I apologize that hurt your feel, like that upset you, like that. I apologize about that. And I said, I played a show with him. He disrespected me, and where I come from, it takes respect to get respect. And he immediately changed his tone like that. He held out his hand. He was like, dude, you apologize about it. It's like, he's like, I get it. I understand. I completely understand. And he ended up buying a shirt from me, and we talked for the night. I mean, it all worked out good, but that could have went the other way.
Oh yeah,
really.
but depending on how you handled it.
Yeah.
Well,
you're exactly right.
And
so now I just don't say anything.
Yeah, it's just not, hey,
it's not worth it.
Yeah. Hey, it is.
But also, it's a me thing, because I let these people live rent free in my head, and that is a me thing. It's not a them thing. If somebody treats you like crap, what we should do as humans is show them a little grace, right? And just be like, they must be having a bad day, and go on about your day.
Well, that's what I try to say, and until they really prove me wrong, and I'm like,
yep.
All right, I gotta say something.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to say nothing. You don't want to say anything. That would hurt anybody's feelings, or because it's like, because that shit comes back.
It does, and it has multiple times.
Yeah.
It's bit me in the butt a few times with a few different artists. I've lost a sponsor because one of their other artists was a piece of crap, and I told the sponsor about it, and they said, well, we like him more than you, and so there's your money. And so it happens, but I'm also the guy that I'm just going to speak my mind.
Speaking of, if there's any sponsors out there, Jeff Canada and Cody Joe Hodges are looking for sponsors.
Yeah, always. Especially if you got about $100,000 a year just to throw my way and you don't care about it, you don't need it. It's just, here's just $100,000. What do you think about that?
I like it.
I'm kind of the guy that's always been the guy to just speak my mind, and I think it's because of the way I was raised. Because the way I was raised, everything was smoke and mirrors, right? Everything was people talking bad about everybody behind their back, but being really nice to them to their face. There was just so much drama, and there was, my dad, bless his heart, he's like a chameleon, dude. He's like a used car salesman. So it's like he'll tell you what you want to hear, and him what he wants to hear, and him what he wants to hear, and him what he wants to hear. Next thing you know, he caught himself. He's in a bind.
He's in a bind.
You know what I mean?
Cashing a check, can't. Yeah.
And I know that I don't want to ever be that way. I want everybody to know where I stand, like with someone.
That's cool, man.
That's just the way I've always been. But I can also not be a butthole about it. Another example. The other day, I'm at my kid's baseball game, right? And somebody taps me on my shoulder, right? And I see a fist, and I just fist bump him like this, and just go back to watch my kid play baseball. And then he taps me on the shoulder again, and he holds out his hand. I look at him. Well, it's my kid's old baseball coach. Now, I could have just shook his hand, but I didn't. I said, I'm good. And I turned around and I'm watching the baseball game. And he was like, this is going to be like that. And I just didn't even talk to him. Right. And so it's like, come on.
Like, was this the guy that didn't let him on the team? Or
no. This was a whole nother. They did us pretty dirty. It's a select ball. There's a lot of drama and politics in that. They did us pretty dirty. But, another time where I was at Flying Pug Sports Bar, and this guy comes up and holds his hand out to shake my hand, and I'm like, I'm good. And I just grabbed my water and walked off. Well, next thing you know, he walks over. I'm talking to my buddy, and he just sucker punches me in the side of the face.
Dang.
And so I turn around, and I'm like, did you just hit me? And that sparked a whole nother thing. But it's like, I could just shake their hands.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the point?
What are you doing?
Like, what's the point of me doing that? And so that's the kind of stuff I just want to kind of clean up. Moving forward. It's just being like, you're not an asshole, Jeff. You're not. I know you're not.
Yeah.
Like, don't be. Just, just like you can be. You show people grace, and so that's the big thing that I'm looking forward to doing in 2025 is just not putting myself in those situations.
Hey, that's a good place to be. Well, I mean, just the less alcohol you drink.
Yeah.
Is the.
These were all sober.
Well,
every single one of these I was sober.
Okay, well.
Completely sober.
Okay, well then that takes that out of it, but
my thing is, the way I was raised is you shake a man's hand 2 times. You shake a man's hand at an initial introduction.
And you shake him when you're leaving.
And then after that you shake his hand. You shake people's hands that you respect.
Oh.
And if you don't respect somebody's hand, if you don't respect somebody, you don't shake their hand. That's just the way I was raised. And so it's like, if I don't respect you, I'm not going to shake your hand.
I don't know what this guy did to you.
It's just one of those things. You know what I mean? And that's what you got to get rid of. You got to it's just dumb. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, why do that?
Yeah, because I do think too, like maybe the other guy was like, not in his right mind.
Yeah.
Let's not say what he was doing or not doing, but maybe he wasn't in his right mind.
The first guy, the one that sucker punched me, he definitely put his hands on one of my friends that he was dating at the time, and that's what caused that whole. Ooh. That's the one thing you don't come back from in my brain.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I definitely.
I witnessed that quite a bit when I was a kid, and I'm
sorry to hear that.
I'm 46 years old, and I've never even come close to putting my hands on a woman.
That's a bad situation. Yeah, that's.
It's just one of those things that you just don't come back from that.
Yeah.
On my end.
That's tough. Well, I mean, it's I was raised Catholic, so we obviously think a lot of Jesus' mother, and of course this is Christmas time, so I guess that's why I'm bringing this up, but I don't know. I just feel that I'm the same way. I just why? I mean, there's a woman is not even as strong as a man, and she has no chance.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and it's not only that, it's
like-
just, to me, the female, I mean, it's the most beautiful thing we have.
Oh, absolutely.
To me, it's the
no,
most beautiful thing.
Well, but that's an opinion that we both share.
And it should
an
be put
agreement
up
on.
it should be put up on a pedestal a little bit.
Yeah.
You should put your lady up on a pedestal.
Absolutely.
And you should always never degrade her. You should always want to build her up.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. You do a good job of that on the social media stuff about.
I try to, yeah.
About putting your woman up on a pedestal. However, my woman, she don't really like that.
Yeah,
kind of
mine
stuff.
doesn't either.
Like she says, keep me out of all your stuff.
Mine,
like,
mine doesn't like it either.
You know?
Every time I post one, she's got something to say about it, about a picture or whatever.
Yeah, because we write songs together and we do a lot of the business.
Her and I do too.
She'll do some booking, I'll do some booking. She keeps me. I always tell people, if you went bowling, she's my gutter guards.
Yeah.
Like
Keeps you in line.
Yeah.
Keeps you grounded.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's.
Oh yeah, I've grown more of a man in the last 3.5 years with this woman than I did the first 42 years of my life, because it's I mean, we have our things, but for the most part, man, I want to build her up, and I want to show her how important she is to me. And to me, I think that's one of our jobs as men. I think one of our jobs as men is to build our women up and to
and hopefully the women does the same for you.
Yeah, exactly.
For the men,
exactly.
and we're we're all better by our good women.
100%.
Like now you. Me and you, we both have bad ones too.
Yep.
You
get those toxic ones,
and they can also lead you the wrong way.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, So I mean, it's just part of I guess part of life, But yeah, I think that's one thing we can definitely be thankful for. This Christmas season.
Yeah.
Is that we got good women behind us.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's nice, man. It's really nice. I have something with her that I've never had before, and that's just, she's as blunt and honest as I am. And so it's like, it's really nice because you always know where you stand, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I don't ever have to wonder if she's happy or if she's sad, or if this made her happy or if this didn't, or if she was upset about this, or because she's going to let me know, you know what I mean? And that's much better. I was with my previous wife for 18 years, and I don't have anything bad to say about her at all. The only thing is that I just never knew where I stood, because she never got happy. She never got sad. It was just always right here. And so you just kind of never knew what the right thing to do was, and then, so what are you going to do as men? You start doing the wrong thing. If you're not going to get in trouble for it, let's do it. And then it just turns into some crap. And so it's good to be with somebody who will let you know what they're thinking or what they're feeling, because that's the whole thing. That's like the whole thing goes back to
also
this podcast.
Drinking less too will also
that's because of her.
That will let you have a better relationship.
Well, that's because of her. She was in a pretty abusive relationship before me, and I knew that I didn't want to ever do that to her. And also, man, I don't want to lose control anymore, dude. That's the big thing. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to make decisions that I would not normally make because I've had a few too many. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm gonna make a mistake, it's 100% me making that mistake.
And it's not just like drinking nowadays. It's like, man, especially like at the clubs when somebody because there's people bringing us drinks all the time, and the thing about it is you don't know what's going to be in that drink.
It happened to me twice.
And it's happened to me before more than twice. And it's happened to me all over the place. One time in Midland, the whole band got it. And we were lucky that my lady was driving. Yeah. She wasn't drinking anything. And so, and all we had was just that one shot. Yeah. That somebody bought a round of shots for the band, and it screwed everybody up.
Well, that's what made me quit. There was back in 2012 or so, I was playing a show, and back then we were doing Jaeger bombs all the time. And I'm talking about, we would do 15, 20 a show.
Oh, yeah.
And one night we were playing on a Thursday night, and I didn't drink that much. I just had a couple, and next thing you know, I'm Hulk smashing. And somebody dosed me with PCP.
Oh no.
That was once. I didn't even know PC. I didn't even know you could still get PCP. I had no idea. That was wild. But then the big one was the rodeo. In 2022, I played a cook-off
You said
tent.
I think I heard on one of your podcasts earlier. Said you took your shirt off or something.
Everything. I almost got tased.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Philip Griffin.
I know Philip.
He kept me from getting tased and arrested. And but again, I only took 2 shots, and then I felt that way. Now I kept drinking after that. There's videos of me. I clearly still drink, but that you're talking about a guy that could drink 20 shots of Jameson in a night
he was
and
only
still
2
function.
drinks in when he did that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that just made me, but on the flip side, if I wasn't drinking, I wouldn't have been given something.
Yeah. No, that's true.
And so that's the way I look at it. So now I just don't drink. I mean, every now and then I'll have one.
Yeah.
Like if I'll play Do-Si-Do and Gavin's there. You've met Gavin, my son at Do-Si-Do.
Yeah.
If Gavin's there, he makes the best old fashioned I've ever had in my life.
I had some old fashions from him.
So
he's still over at the whiskey bar.
Yeah,
right?
But he'll come over to the big barn to see me play when I play, and I always have him make me an old fashioned because he's he's just so good at it.
He's a nice guy too.
He's a great kid.
Yeah.
Great kid. I'm really proud of him.
Yeah,
he's doing really good over there. They love him over there. I think his goal is eventually he's really starting to get into like audio stuff, so he wants to become like an audio engineer.
Oh wow, yeah, there's a lot to that. You know?
So I'm working with him on that because I'm one.
Yeah, we got to be one. I heard you and Jack Nelson talking about it last week. Is that you got to be your own audio engineer because I mean, it didn't work. Because you never know where you're going to show up, and you don't want the bartender running your sound. You don't want the bartender in charge of your destiny.
Yep, and that happens all the time. It happens all the time too. I'll go to places and it'll be the owner's husband's running sound. And I'm like, and this is the first time they've ever run sound, and they got a couple PV Black Widow speakers, and you're like, oh God, this is gonna be brutal.
Yeah.
But you just got to do it. It's definitely in demand. But. The music business is one of the only businesses I've ever seen in my life where people get into it and they expect to be successful without learning every aspect of the business. Every other business out there, if you're gonna go buy a plumbing company, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go in there and learn how to be a plumber.
Yeah.
If you're going to do an electrician, whatever, a mechanic, any other business you do, you're going to have to go through and learn how to do every aspect of that business if you want to be successful. Because if not, those people are going to rob you blind.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're paying somebody to do your social media and you don't know how to do your social media yourself, they're going to do the bare minimum and you're going to be paying them. They're going to rob you blind. Mm-hmm. So that's my biggest thing I try to tell every musician out there is you've got to learn everything you can about this industry.
You got
social media, recording, setting up your own guitar, changing your own strings, tuning your own, all that stuff. I mean, I've literally played with artists that are bigger artists that didn't even know how to tune their own guitar.
Doesn't it just make you almost? I'm not gonna say it makes you sick, but it's like, man, how did you get to this spot?
It just blows me away. It blows my mind.
It's like okay, all right. I see how it works for you.
Yeah, and it only behooves you to be better, man. Like like I'm getting into video now because I realize that that's one of the weak links I have.
Oh, dude, video. That's. I just finished making a video for "Tangled in the Christmas Lights," and that's a song that my wife and I wrote together,
cool.
and it's just a real cute little funny deal. Well, I made a music video for that. I made a music video for a few other videos that we have. I think there's only like maybe 1 or 2 videos that I had somebody else do that, of my collection.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because I was doing I went over to KPTX, TV3, and they said that basically I look at KPTX TV3 as being a liberal media outlet. And apparently this song was too liberal for them, and I was like, wow. I was like, man, they say it had too much innuendo in it. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, of course, you got to agree with what they agree with. But I sent her the video that I had made. I was like, hoping that would change her mind, and it didn't, so I had to sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But my point is that I feel that when you release like music and everything else, and other people's music too, anybody who's releasing music, to have something that people can see. Like this ain't the 50s no more, 60s, 70s, 80s. You know, I mean, you gotta have stuff that people see nowadays. Otherwise, it's not. I feel like it's not. You know, in the old days, people could see with their ears.
Yeah.
Now they can't do that no more.
Yeah.
You know, so you gotta put the visuals in there for them, and
it gets expensive. You know, if you're doing
if you're not doing it on your own.
Yeah.
You know, like I had a lot of different companies quote me, you know, but hell, I think it was. I was on a record label. I was on a couple different record labels, and we had put out the One More Drink video, and I think they budgeted like $5,000 for the video, which, you know, I figured I guess that's about. Is that about right, or is that? I mean, is it 5,000?
You know, I've done stuff. I've done,
but it was really good. It was really good.
I've done really high quality stuff at $2,000.
See, I thought
I've seen subpar stuff at $5,000. So it just
I thought 5,000 was a little much, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, but anyways, that's right about the time that I decided to start getting into my own video making, because I looked at all my songs. I said, I'd like to have more music videos, but man, I just don't have that kind of money right now, and I don't have that kind of investors, you know, to want to invest in me at this point, you know. And you know, I know a lot of people do, you know, but I personally don't, you know. And so I started learning how to do that, and I should commend everybody who are artists who are trying to learn the different facets of this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's funny is I keep seeing lately a bunch of videographers and photographers complaining, right? I see it a lot. Oh, dude, everybody using this AI stuff, and everybody using these different apps to make your own videos and stuff. You're killing the industry. And all I want to say to all of them is welcome to the freaking club.
Yeah.
Because that, like,
okay,
like I want to say welcome to the club, because if that's been going on with us for how many years? Like we've been being replaced by DJs.
Really, before I mean, it's been happening.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah. But you got a guy that goes out and buys him a computer, and then he can put an Apple playlist together, and he knows how to switch them over. And now all of a sudden he's a DJ, and he's taking work from me. He's taking work from DJs, you know. But it just is what it is. It's part of the deal. Not only that, we have us as musicians, because of all the different contractors we have to use, meaning audio, whatever. We get like. Y'all are making y'all's money regardless of whether we make any money or not. So you're getting your $2,000 or $5,000 to make that video, even if it doesn't do anything for us.
Oh yeah,
you're getting, you know, you're getting your fee to come out and take pictures of me, no matter how much money I make. So, you know, that's what I tell everybody. The biggest problem to me in the music industry in general is that you have the food chain, right? That should start with the song and end with the fan. Yeah. Right? In that food chain, the two most important things should be the songwriter and the fan.
The fan, you're right.
Or
the listener and the product.
And the performer, right.
Yeah.
But basically what happens is everybody else in the food chain makes their money, and the last two people to get anything for it is the musician and the fan. Like, it's just, even tickets now. I mean, you have, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I this is a true story. I had a gig booked. It was about 6 months out. And it was going to be a ticket event, $20 a piece. I won't say where it's at. I won't even say what city it's at.
Yeah.
But it was going to be $20 a piece. So a buddy of mine sends me a screenshot and said, "Hey, I'm about to buy. I'm trying to buy tickets for this thing, but the tickets are $20 and it's $18 in fees." Okay, so I'm like, send me the link. Well, I went and looked up the link.
So that means it's really $38 for the ticket.
$38 for a ticket.
Oh my gosh.
Well, to make it even worse. Well, that's happening with Ticketmaster and Outhouse and all these ticket places that you're using a third-party ticket.
Sounds like Spotify.
Well, here's the crazy thing. The venue owns their own ticketing agent. They own, so now they're, and I'm only, and so I'm getting, it's a 70-30 deal.
So you're getting a 70-30 deal.
I'm getting 70% of $20.
And it costs them $38 to get in, so that means they're really making almost half plus the 30%.
Exactly.
Wow, that's That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's happened all over the place. So that's just another example of on the food chain of everybody on the food chain, the people that get screwed are the fans and the artists, because we put out the song, we get paid nothing for it on on the streaming services.
I always think that if I can just make a friend, if I can make a friend through my song or make a friend through the, because a lot of times I'm not going to see any money from it.
Yeah, never. I don't even look at it that way.
And
I look at Spotify as advertising now.
Oh yeah,
That's
I see. Obviously, I haven't figured that out.
Yeah.
I don't have all that many listeners. I don't know why that is. I guess it's just because I just haven't really taken the steps to figuring that out. I just put stuff out there, and if people listen to it, that's fine. If not, like you ain't never gonna see any paid likes for me.
Yeah.
Unless I'm trying to get if I'm playing in an area.
Yeah,
this is like Facebook too. Like I don't pay for any of the likes. I could care less. In fact, for the last couple of years, they've stood up right about the same. They're stopping me from reaching 20,000.
Oh yeah, I'm at 17.
Yeah, like I have been there for like several months, like at the same spot.
Me too.
And because I've been doing this for I think I started the page in 2010, so that's like 14 years.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that certain times they will be, and I don't know who this is, but they will actually take followers away. I think my mom unfollowed me one time when she did not unfollow me.
Yeah,
so what they're doing is they're making people unfollow you.
Yeah.
And then they're replacing them with a fake account.
Yep.
And so there's something going on. I don't know what it is.
It's greed.
But somebody doesn't want me to keep climbing.
No, it's not you. It's greed. It's the number one problem with this country.
Yeah.
On all aspects of life. It's the number one problem. The number one problem with this country is everybody just wants to make more and more and more and more money. They just want to make more and more and more money. I think it's absolutely criminal that you have a Spotify CEO that's worth like 4.2 million or billion or whatever it is.
I think it's more than that. But yes.
And you're paying out, and I make like $400 a year on royalties.
Well, you heard the new talk is that how like Spotify makes up their own playlist and stuff. And I'm sure you've heard this, but there's like ghostwriter AI tracks
covers
that they'll put in their playlist just so they don't have to pay the royalties. You know what I mean?
But we allow that to happen. I mean, there's zero difference between Spotify and the pharmaceutical companies.
Oh man.
Or the big oil companies, or the big churches, or I'm talking about the big businesses, the ones that, and I'm a right-leaning person. I'm conservative.
I like to stay on the saddle, but there's a lot of values that, on both sides. I can see good on both sides, but I'm further to the right than I am the left. But I do try to stay on the saddle just because.
Me too.
That's how you ride a horse.
Yeah, me too. But what we've been able to let corporations get away with in this country is just absolutely insane, because it seems to me like it's about the corporations. It's not about the people. We're not the United States. It's not we the people anymore. It's we the corporations. It's whatever the corporations want, they get, and we're the ones that suffer. That's what I say. And it's Spotify, it's YouTube, it's Apple Music, it's Facebook, it's the oil field, it's the medical field, it's the
I feel like we've all seen the medical field in the last 4 years. They have showed their colors.
Yeah, and the food industry.
Not to get too much into it, but all the vaccinations that were pushed on everybody and that, it just wasn't tested. Now all these people are getting side effects. I've known so many people just this year. I've known more people die this year.
Yep.
And one is my father-in-law, and I don't know, man,
it's crazy.
When he went into that brain surgery, because they were trying to make stuff flow or something, but basically the doctor told us that it was because of the vaccine. that he is in that situation, and I don't know. That's just hard. That's a hard pill to swallow when they're like forcing everybody to do that. You know, it's like, man, are they trying to kill people? Like, you know, I mean, it's because you hear about what Bill Gates is doing, you know, and all the other stuff, you know.
I honestly don't think that it's like nefarious. I don't think they're doing it out of ill will. I just think that.
I hope not.
I don't. I think that what happens is you get in a machine that gets so big, and you have so many different legs of that machine, and the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, and you're more worried. Again, you're more worried about building up the shareholders. You're more worried about building up stocks. You're more worried about making sure that you're growing. More worried than that than if you're a benefit or not to the American people.
Right.
Meaning, you know, just whatever that may be. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. Have you ever worked for a big corporation?
When the Army.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
I mean,
that's like the epitome of the right hand not knowing what the left hand's doing. No, but like I worked for NOV for 10 years.
You know, okay.
I worked for National Well for 10 years, you know, and we would go to these meetings.
I worked for power line companies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you know.
I was in the upper management, and we'd go to these meetings, and it was never about, are we putting out the most safe product? Are we putting out the best product? Are we putting out something to be proud of? It was never that. It was, we've got to get this out as fast as we can. Oh, don't worry about that. That'll work itself out. Don't worry about this. That'll work itself out. Just get it out in the field so that way we can start making money off of it. Because that goes to the shareholders.
So it's all about money.
Everything's about money.
They're
not worried about safety. They're not worried about your life. They're not worried about my life. They're not worried about your kids' life. They're worried about making more and more and more money.
Okay, so getting back to the whole Spotify thing, you know, that guy, he's kind of in the same model.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
same thing. Making money.
Yeah, I mean, just he doesn't really, you know.
And they're ruining the art. They're ruining art. Is what they're doing.
Now,
I think that there's a few things that we could do, and I've talked about this multiple times on the podcast. I think one of those things is, and I think it would hurt a lot of us, you know, our feelings, but I think overall it'd be better for us. And that is one thing. I think it should be $1,000 to upload music to distributor. I think it should cost us $1,000 to put something on Spotify or to put something on Apple Music. And the reason I say that is not.
So
it'll eliminate some of the noise.
People that
aren't in it.
That aren't in it to win it, and you won't have some of the same song. You'll have people that are more serious.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you do that, that'll fix that part where, you know, instead of having 150,000 songs a day being uploaded, maybe it's only half.
But with that said, so now it's going to cost the artists, and they're already not making much.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Then what that do is those $1,000 that gets put up, that immediately doesn't go to Spotify. It goes to a fund that gets put out, distributes accordingly per plays. You know, 100% of it. That way, the Spotify, they keep making their money. You have less crap being put in place, and you're getting more money back in return on what you're doing.
Right.
Now, has it been thought out? Have I sat down and have I done focus groups? No, I mean, I could be totally crazy for that. I think that there's two major problems with the industry, and that is, one of them is it's just entirely too easy for someone to put something out there. It lessens the value of the overall product.
Well, that's true.
And then
you got anybody recording something off their iPhone that can load it up and
right. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. So I think if it had a little bit more, if you had to have a little more skin in the game to get it up there, and then but on the other side, it's terrible that you got a CEO.
Now he's making even more, you know. So now he's making $1,000 off of each artist.
Well, it wouldn't be totally him. It would have to be. I'm talking about, you have a distributor, right? Like Smith Music or whatever your distributor is. You have to pay them $1,000, and then they have to do it however, you know, divide that up amongst wherever it goes out. Now, again, I haven't thought it out that much.
Good, yeah.
I just keep trying to think of ways. Like, I'm a fixer, you know what I mean? National Well sent me to school for it. Like, I've always been like this efficiency fixer guy, and so I'm always looking at ways like, how can you make this better? How can you make that better? What can we do here? And you know, that's just an idea I had. Is it the best one? Probably not. Maybe we can think of a better one. But you know, I think that it's just entirely too easy. And I think what happens now is they want to be famous so bad that they'll do anything on TikTok. They'll do anything on Instagram.
I don't even have a TikTok just because I don't care.
Oh yeah.
Like everybody says that I will not make it famous anymore if you don't have a TikTok.
Yeah.
And I really don't care
Yeah.
because I care more about and they say, oh well, you know, and I always tell them because I'm just I'm a pro-American kind of guy,
Yeah.
and they say that the Chinese government has a hand in TikTok, and I believe it.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's a Chinese-owned company, and
Yeah.
China government has a hand in every
and they're
company.
already trying to buy up all of our farmland in America, and I mean,
Trying.
I mean, what's next? You know, like I mean, they're just going to keep continuing.
But it's because of our greed. That's what I'm trying to say. That's been the theme of this conversation. Like,
Yeah.
it's because of our greed. We just keep wanting more and more. So we keep, you know, we want to buy the cheapest clothes. So we order the stuff off Temu or whatever the crap. Well, that's Chinese. Like,
Right.
we're just so like we've become so innately greedy. We've become like everything's got to be growing. Everything's got to be faster and bigger and stronger and it's just got to keep growing. You know, you have a company whatever.
And that's the corporate mindset.
Right. Whatever happened to just, man, I want to own a farm. I just want to own a piece of land and I want to be fine. I want to.
Man, that's where I've always been, Jeff.
Yeah, me too. Like, you know, I don't need 25 sports cars and a $1 million mansion. You know, I'd like a 2,000 square foot house with an old 76 beat up Jeep sitting out front. Like,
See, you know, it's crazy that, and I know that y'all can't see that back there, but back there's where I grew up. I grew up on a 5-acre little plot right in the middle of that pecan orchard.
Yeah.
That my parents paid like 50 or 60 grand for, with the house.
Yeah.
Back in the early 80s,
Yeah.
late 70s, early 80s, you know, and so, man, that's always been. I mean, I've just looked at what they, you know, because I didn't come from people who had a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, but Dad worked a lot hard. He worked 40 years as a power lineman. You know, and you work hard long enough, you're going to see the results. You know, and you know, I've seen what they have grown everything into, starting off with just that little 5-acre little track right there.
but now you can't even do that.
Yeah, it's like they're making it hard.
Yeah, I mean, if like say that you want to go buy that 5-acre track right now, that 5-acre track's going to run you.
Oh man, it's well.
And you never own it. That's the
Yeah.
bad part about it.
Well, it went from being worth 60 grand when they bought it to where it's like a $750,000 now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it.
Yeah.
What kind of sense does that make?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think everything is, and of course, there's a lot of people out there who like it. All the prices to keep going up because it creates a bigger divide between the rich and the poor.
Yeah.
Because when the prices go up, the rich people don't care.
Yeah.
They still gonna buy it no matter what. It's the poor people that are affected. That you know. So it creates
Which
a
is
bigger,
like 80% of America now.
Yeah, it creates a bigger divide between Americans.
Yeah.
You know, and so. I don't know. Somebody's going to have to figure that out before it gets too out of hand one of these days. But
Well, I think it's about to be figured out.
you know, well, I feel that there's a good chance of that.
I think what you're going to see over the next 4 years is going to be a lot of very explosive things that is going to take. It's going to be very hard for half the country to swallow.
Yeah.
But I think it needs to happen. And the reason I think it is because the other half of the country has been swallowing their bullcrap for the last 3 decades.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so, you know, I think it's funny that we're supposed to automatically agree with your agenda,
Well,
but you won't even hear our agenda.
well, see, you know, when you look on a political map, what divides the red between the blue?
Oh, it's cities, yes.
Cities versus rural areas. Yeah. So if you were to look on a political map, you'd say that it's a city versus country battle.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we all are.
You know, and so but that's when I look at a map, that's what that tells me. Yeah. And then I'm thinking to myself like, so this is all the city people trying to push their thoughts and ideas on us.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. But as soon as you do it, as soon as we do it back, we're racist or bigoted or homophobe or whatever. We get called all these stupid names. But the tide's turned. I mean, that was a lashing, son. That last election was a. I mean, that's an old school behind the barn ass whooping is what that was.
Well, that's everybody coming together saying we do not want another shutdown.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what. I mean, that's a.
Well, we're tired of it. You know, here's the problem. Here's the issue. When you got 80% of Americans, or whatever the percentage is, I'm pulling that number out of my butt, that wake up every day and they go to work and they work 40 hours a week. Okay, they work their tail off, and then they may or may not be able to save up enough money to go on a vacation once a year. And then they have to have to skinch. It's not like they even get to have a good time.
Oh yeah.
But you got these people that are working their tail off 40, 50, 60 hours a week, but 50% of everything they make is not even going to them. 50%. So each one of us, I am, everybody, we're a partner with the federal government. If you own a business, your federal government's 51% partner of yours. And so they take all of our money and give us nothing in return. And I think that's what this election showed. I think this election said, you know what?
We're tired of it.
We're sick of paying all of our money. And our life's getting significantly worse.
Yeah.
Because if you ask me, my life from back in the 80s,
oh man,
like my life has gotten significantly worse. Well, I mean, it's gotten better because of me, but it's like
the 80s were just good. Period. I mean,
yeah.
But
you know what I mean. And really, I said this.
Let me rephrase that. I said the 80s were better. The 80s weren't always better.
Right. You didn't want to be in New York in the 80s.
Yeah. Or there's big economy bust too in the 80s, you know, but I guess what I'm saying is that before all this digital technology,
before Congress and pretended to me, everything changed when Bill Clinton got impeached. That's when everything changed. Because what that did is that let the politicians know they have more power than the American people. Because Bill Clinton was one of the most popular presidents in United States history, and Ken Starr and the Republicans did everything they could do to get him out of office. And Bill Clinton was the last president to balance the budget. He was the last did they do some dumb things? Yeah, they did. But so
I think we got a guy who knows how to balance the budget now.
I think we do too. So, but I'm just saying, and that to me, from the day they impeached Clinton till now, it just seems to me like the politicians lost complete and total. They're not even aware of what's going on in real America.
Oh, I don't think they really care. No. As long as they got their houses on their Florida beachfront or the little private islands or I don't know where they got their stuff, but I mean, don't. Mountain house up in wherever,
it's insane.
I think that, and it's a closed group. Not everybody can get in there because quite frankly, not everybody is smart enough to get in those groups.
Yeah.
Because those people, they do have a knowledge that is beyond or wisdom, or they got something different that the poor folks don't have. And when I say poor folks, I mean like everybody who,
most of them hit the genetic lottery.
Yeah.
Most of them were born into prominence.
Well, like back in the day, a millionaire used to be a big thing, and now it's like they're all millionaires, and
this whole Ted Cruz crap, dude. I don't know if you're watching that.
No, I'm not watching it right now, but fill me in. What's going on with that?
He had like a meltdown on Twitter the other night, dude. And basically what's happening is Trump and Elon and all them are talking about making it to where you cannot publicly trade as long as you're an elected official.
I mean, why?
Well, Crenshaw has a serious problem with that. He said the most amount of money I've ever had in the stock market is $25,000. And he said, yeah, we go serve the American people and we shouldn't bet our lives with it. Okay, I kind of get his argument a little bit, but you shouldn't do it like that. But let me tell you something. How did you only have $25,000 invested in the stock market when your net worth was $400,000 going into office, and now your net worth is $4.4 million 7 years later? Where did you get that money from?
Well, of course, it wasn't on the stock markets. It was under the table over here.
Whatever it came from.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just, it was the stock market. People, because you could pull up their trading. So this guy just built an app. that allows you to mirror any of your congressman's trades. I don't know what it's called, but it's all coming out.
So you can bet whatever they bet.
It's all that's what I'm saying. It's all coming out, like, because
But that's how I feel like that's how they have traded money.
Yeah.
And they
laundered it.
Yeah, I mean, in one way or another,
Yeah.
I mean,
both sides.
Yeah,
both sides.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, everybody up there.
Yeah.
I mean, like
disgusting.
even if you aren't on either side, if you're just the guy sitting on the fence just looking out and seeing what's going on, even that guy had a skin in the game, But I mean, I feel that.
We just got to get back to a point of normalcy and insanity. And to me, I don't want to give away, if I go play a gig for $300 or $500 or $300, and I don't want to give 150 of it to the government.
No, they don't deserve that money.
Yeah,
or
or the toll roads. The toll roads. We were told that the toll roads, whenever they first started doing toll roads, were to pay for the road, and once the road was paid for, they would take the toll machines out. That's the way Beltway 8 was built.
Yeah.
But now, guess who owns most of? I don't know what most of it, but they own a big percentage of the toll roads. Is China owns the damn toll roads.
What?
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when you go
even
through
Texas,
I don't know where, but I know that China owns a lot of the toll road companies. So if you're driving through a toll, you're paying that $1.25. It's not even going to the road. It's insane. It's insane.
Well, that might need some looking into.
Everything needs looking into.
And somebody who wanted to fund their private island said yes to that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they got kickbacks. But
yet if you own a company, you have to get permits, and you have to get this, and you have to get that, and you have to go through audits. You have to go through safety audits. You got to go through financial audits. You got to go through all this. Our government doesn't do any of that shit. It's insane. But whatever, we can get off that topic.
Yeah.
It blows my mind that we've allowed to get this way. And and people are so brainwashed, and they're so set in their teams. They have their teams so much. I have a friend of mine who's like super liberal, and in one sentence she's saying, I can't believe we elected Trump again. God, this is like the blah, 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 blah. And then 2 posts later, she's complaining about how expensive groceries are. And it's like, they're just, they can't comprehend how everything links up and everything tightens in.
Well, that's what I was saying is like the people that do comprehend that and that are knowledgeable and they understand how this is going on, those are the people doing it.
Yeah.
And so everybody else is.
So is that my problem? I understand how it works, but I'm not doing it. Maybe I need to start doing it.
It's like you need to don't be the sheep, but you be the sheepdog. Kind of like. I think
I'm gonna become a coyote.
Kind of like Scott Brown. Scott Brown talks about the sheepdog.
I think I'm gonna become a coyote and start eating sheep.
Well, I mean, hey, metaphorically speaking here, like, yeah. I mean, hey.
So what's on the plan for 2025?
Oh man, like I don't have a whole lot of plans. I know I'm going to Italy. One part we were supposed to go to Italy this past October.
Playing songs?
Yeah, playing songs and
cool.
taking like a group of people and I was gonna perform a few times during the trip and then write a song at the end of the trip that kind of like summed up
cool.
the trip and.
So something you organized?
Yeah, and my wife and I and her father ended up passing away, and so we couldn't do that. But they went on without us, and so the group went over there on the Cody Joe Hodges trip, and Cody Joe Hodges wasn't even there, and so we're gonna go back in April. We've been wanting to go for a while, over to Italy,
That's cool.
And
I've never been overseas, so
yeah. Man, I've always been wanting to go to Italy. There's all kind of cool places. I've seen all kind of pictures and stuff, and just the history of the world. A lot of history in the world happens in Rome.
Yeah.
At least the stuff that we know about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big history guy, dude. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Like I love it when I get to go to like Savannah, Georgia.
Oh man, I don't know if you could see it, but there's one of the oldest forts in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Is right there in this river bottom.
Huh.
It was called Fort Odom.
Really?
And you can look that up.
Let's check it out.
Yeah. Look it up. And I'll in fact on the ATV, we'll do a quick ATV ride. I'll take you by there and show it
Oh, yeah,
if,
that's
if
cool.
you're interested
Yeah, no,
in history.
100%.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I like to go to like Savannah, Georgia, because there's so much history in
Oh,
that
yeah.
town.
Oh, yeah.
Or I mean, even Nashville. When I was in Nashville last time, I kind of went around to the store. That fort that they have up on that hill there, I went up there. Whatever that fort was.
Oh, yeah.
What is that fort up on that hill? Scott told me that him and I think it was Brandon Jenkins used to go up there and write.
Okay.
And sat on a bench up there. And so last time I was there, me and Orion went up there and wrote. It was pretty fun.
Orion.
Yeah.
Orion.
Good Orion. Good Orion.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I like that guy. Yeah.
He's good people.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I find it interesting just because I told you about Ancestry.com earlier.
Yeah.
Like most of all of my family members that I've ever found, they were all fighting for the South.
Yeah.
and I don't know.
I got a funny story about that.
Like,
So my great whatever grandfather was a member of the Mississippi militia.
Okay.
And his name was Canaday.
Okay.
I think it was Kanaday. I think that's
Okay.
what it was, if I remember correctly.
And
So
that was
it was Canaday. Well, so after the Civil War ended, a lot of those militias, Southern militias, were still fighting.
Yeah.
You remember that? You know about? I mean, I don't know. You don't remember.
Oh
that, you weren't
yeah.
alive, but
Yeah.
So,
You remember that, man?
They didn't, they didn't want to concede.
Yeah.
And well, my grandpa, he didn't, or my great whatever it was, he didn't want to fight anymore, and so he ended up deserting. And on his way out, he got caught. He ended up killing his. Whatever. His
commander.
Yeah, his commander.
Or something. Yeah.
So he ended up killing like somebody in charge of him, and he fled to Arkansas, and that's where he changes his name to Canada.
Okay.
And
We're
that's
in
how-
Arkansas.
Somewhere around Fort Smith area.
Okay.
And so
That's-
I got a
that's-
ton of
that's-
family in Fort Smith.
Well, see, that's the same path that because they were out there in Mississippi and Alabama when the Indians were still there, and they were fighting Indians in Alabama.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean it was late 1700, 1800, right after the Revolution.
Yeah.
And so in fact I got a bunch of folks that are still buried in oh my goodness, Alabama, the college. I want to say. We're oh my goodness.
In Alabama?
Yeah, where's the University of Alabama at? Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa.
I don't know why that was on the tip of my tongue, but so some of my kin folks are buried there in a national cemetery. Like they were,
Oh, that's cool.
It's their cemetery.
Yeah.
Like,
Have you been there to check it out?
No, but I want to.
Yeah.
Back and forth,
Yeah, I love it, man. That's another cool thing about what we do for a living is like, I did that run up to Delaware and stuff, and like Gavin and I, or Brody and I, it was like Father's Day weekend, so him and I used it as a trip to get out.
Right.
And dude, we went to Gettysburg and we went to the battlefield
Nice.
and did all that stuff, and it was
yeah.
It's really cool that you can get out and travel and make some money and playing shows and,
Oh yeah,
and be able to do.
and you get to do history lessons,
Yeah.
man, because that's what I love, especially
too.
about like the old West. Like I love just going to those little ghost towns
Yep.
and
or some little like I went to like this Billy the Kid museum. I went to a Wild Bill Hickok museum. Just
stuff that
Just-
normal people don't get to go to because they're not passing through there.
exactly.
A lot of people just fly over those states
Yeah.
too.
And a lot of times, you get there and you got there because you played somewhere the night before, so you went ahead and drove half the way, and you get there earlier. Your show's not till 10 o'clock at night, and you go around, you find the cool little things to do in town, and some of the coolest things I've ever seen are just by accident. The Great Sand Dunes up in Colorado. I didn't even know those existed till we were driving by and it said the Great Sand Dunes. We're like, let's go check it out. Went and checked it out, and I was like, man, there's like so many cool things in this country that normal people don't get to experience, and we get to do that.
Get in a
'cause we're on
van
the
and
road.
go. You'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's so cool. Like it's
So that's the only reason. My only complaint, I don't have any complaints because I'm not famous. I don't want to be famous. I just
no.
want to be heard. I don't want to be famous.
Yeah, no,
But I want enough money to be comfortable.
See, the thing about it, Jeff, is that when you're playing music, and of course you know this, but we're not doing this for me and you. We're doing this for them. When you're not famous or nothing, like venues have a lot of times they'll turn you down because they don't think that you can draw people for them. And it comes down to if you can't draw people, they don't want you.
Yeah.
you know, and it's tough when you realize that,
Yeah.
and you're not on the side of drawing people, you
Yeah.
know, and so they make you want to do whatever it takes to draw people in there, and I'm sorry to say it, but the only way that people are going to come is if they think that you're famous, you know, like you know, and I don't know where that sets me as an artist trying to do the real thing, or you know, you know, but it's like how do you get to that level, you know, of where people automatically like know when you're coming into town, and I mean like it's.
I think that's easy. I don't think there's anybody that's gotten to where they are. I don't think any of them know how they got there.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they're like straight up industry people, you know, like Morgan Wallen, you know.
Well, they all their paths are already set up,
right?
Because they already have stadiums lined up,
yeah.
and they have it to where you come in as like an opener, and you do that for several times, and then you go on do your own tour, like. Yeah. So I get that part, but I'm talking about even like the smaller venues, like
right. But what I'm saying
the
is
dance halls and
but I think if you take guys like Cody Jinks, Cody Johnson, Red Clay Strays, I'm talking about the ones, you know, those guys, you know, I think if they were to write a book step by step exactly how they got to where they got,
they'd all be different.
And you try to follow that blueprint, you would. I think what you have to do. There's two ways you could do it. You can go to Nashville. You can get on. You can be some good-looking little young thing that has a good voice that they're going to put their money on, right? You can be that.
Too old.
Yeah, too old. Too old. You know, you could go you could do that. But I think the majority of people that have success, they love what they do so much that they just can't stop doing it, and they do it, and they do it so much that just at some point something just clicks.
And when I say too old, I mean like they don't want you because you know too much.
Yeah.
Like they want somebody they can make a lot of money on.
Yeah.
that doesn't know that they're not supposed to be. You know.
They want somebody they can do an 80-20 deal. Them get 80, you get 20, but you don't get your 20 until you pay back the $3 million they give you up front. Yeah. That's what they want. Yeah. They don't want guys like me and you that are like, no.
Like
I want the 80%.
It's like I already know how much I'm making every year. Like you know, and I'm satisfied with that. But then they said, no, sir, we need to make you. We need you to be making 10 times this.
Yeah.
To where we know that we're going to be making money on you. You know, and so it's no longer where you're making money for just you and your family or you and your band. You're making money for their family too. Yeah. You know, and then. I think in turn they know all the connections and all the, you know, having a good promoter, you know, that's half the battle to put asses in the seats.
That's why you got to give so much credit to guys like Aaron Watson, you know, and William Clark Green and guys that even like Casey Donahue, guys that just kind of built their own thing and didn't, you know, I respect all of those people so much more than I respect. And you know, a lot of people bring up Parker because, you know, he had money because his parents owned a concrete company, but Parker didn't. I don't think Parker did it the Morgan Wallen way. Parker was just very smart with what he did with his money.
I don't know how he did it, but the times that I met him, I mean, see, and I know this sounds so crazy because it's like.
I just hate the whole daddy's money thing argument. Like they only made it because of daddy's money.
Well,
no.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there who it helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
But it doesn't make you who you
but that
are.
Guy's
I mean,
really
he's
good.
got to be a good dude
Yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of good dudes without the money.
Yeah.
But he just happens to be a good dude with the money.
Yeah.
You know, and so you know, and like I said, the times that I've met him, I mean, he's been super nice to me.
But he worked his ass off to get where he is.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
I got you know, Peyton Howie. You know, young little Peyton. She works hard.
I never met her.
She's fantastic.
Yeah,
but she works so hard. So even if she has money, which I don't think she does, but even if she did have a lot of money behind her, she works so hard. You can't knock her for that.
Oh yeah.
I can't. I mean, you just can't. You can't knock. But the problem is people in that whole Nashville scene, they want to knock somebody like Parker or like Oliver Anthony because Oliver Anthony didn't play any of those games.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
So I think that's my advice to you would just be keep putting out songs, keep being real, and maybe one day you'll hit your lick. I think the music business is like the lottery. I think you just got to play it. You just got to play it.
Oh yeah, because it don't. I mean, as long as you have what you need, it don't matter how much money you have.
Yeah.
Like as long as you got a nice place that we were talking about.
Yep.
You got the people around you all the time that support your livelihood, and if support just your not just your livelihood, but I mean, you're like, I guess your livelihood. I mean, everything that like. For the time that you get up, it's like, have your woman around. I mean, oh yeah, and just being able to I live a real simple life. I mean, it's just you got to have a place to stay, people around you, and then you got to have something to do, and that something to do is what we do is music. Whatever comes in the music, cycle. But I mean, that's really a pretty simple life. I live. I play a little bit of sports outside of this.
Yeah. What's your sport?
Well, here lately, ever since 2020, it's been golf.
Oh yeah.
I used to do all kinds of stuff. I mean, you name it, I'll do it. I'm just a sporty kind of guy. But when they shut us down in 2020, I didn't really. It's like I was in Nashville, and I mean, it's like.
What do you do?
What do you do? It's like, they say that you can go to, it was real funny too. They say you can go to Home Depot, Walmart, you can go play golf, but you can't go to church.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like,
Or the beach.
So, or the beach, or like, so there's some of that. I don't know where they were coming from, but that's where guys like me went to the golf course, and I was like, man, like this is as close to the country as I'm going to get right now, just because. I'm in Tennessee, and of course, if we were out here in Texas, I mean, there ain't no fences out here, so you can go ride whatever you want to ride, for miles, and not, that was the best part about growing up here, Jeff. Is
same with me where I was.
Whether we had horses, 4-wheelers, go-karts, 3-wheelers.
Yep.
You remember 3-wheelers?
Yep. I had a little Honda 75, and then I got a little Honda 110.
Okay, yeah.
I broke my leg, but almost broke my leg on a 3-wheeler one time.
Oh man,
I don't
know. I don't know how I'm still alive.
I don't either. Like I think back about it all the time, man. We made our own bungee cord one time down at the creek. Like really went bungee jumping out of a tree, out of a homemade bungee cord with just duct tape bungee cords. Like I look back at the stuff I did when I was a kid, and I'm amazed. That not only did I not die, like I don't know anybody that did.
Yeah.
Like we had one kid that got killed on his bicycle. He was riding the wrong way on a street. On a car came over a hill and hit him. But I mean that's just Darwinism.
Yeah.
I just like it just blows my mind that we were way harder and way more rough on ourselves back then, and we had less death and less instances. And nowadays,
like nobody wore helmets.
Yeah, and nowadays everything is so soft, and we're so worried about our kids. And
you know why? Because it creates it just like we were talking about earlier, money.
Yeah.
It all comes down to money. Somebody's selling those bicycle helmets.
Yeah.
Somebody's selling those
car
safety
seat.
gears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it comes down to a lot of money. I mean, now don't get me wrong, man. I'm sure having a seat belt is in the vehicle is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Probably. Like
yeah, and not drinking and driving is probably a good thing.
Yeah, but you can remember a time where you didn't have to wear a seatbelt and you can drink and drive.
Dude, have you seen that? There's a clip. As soon as they passed that law of seatbelt, there's a clip down here in Texas on the news, and it surfaces on social media from here on. There's this one guy. He says, "Well, the government's stepping in, making us wear seatbelts. Next thing you know, we're not even going to enjoy a cold beer on our way home from work." It's
Twitter from 1994.
Yeah, and it's probably it's probably a good thing that we're not, that you're not getting beat by your parents like we got.
Oh man,
I'm not saying that everybody got beat, but we got beat, and it's probably a good thing that not everybody's getting, to a certain extent. I'm not talking about spankings. I'm talking about like
no. Yeah, no.
It's probably a good thing that whatever. There's definitely some better things that happen now than what have happened. I mean, cruise control is one of the best inventions ever, in my opinion, and that new adaptive cruise control is even better. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it can lead to complacency.
Yeah, it can. But
know?
overall, I just think Gen X, which I guess is what we are, I just think that we were a lot more free to make those mistakes at a very younger age. So we matured faster. You know, if you learn from those mistakes. But the problem is now when you guard everybody all the time,
You baby him.
you're babying them. And the next thing
Yeah.
you know, if you want to know, to me, where school shootings come from, that's it. I mean, you got kids that get into high school that have never had to overcome any adversity at all, and you're giving everybody a trophy, and you're giving all this stuff. You have timeout, you have all this stuff. You baby your kids. They get to high school, the first time a girl tells them, "No, I'm not interested," because then they start crying, and now everybody starts bullying them. Like, to me, you don't need to get rid of bullies. We need bullies. I was bullied as a kid.
Yeah.
Like that's how you build strong people. Like, hard times build strong people.
Yeah.
And we've made it so ridiculously easy for kids these days.
Well, that was when I was in the military. There was a lot of old school folks that was also in there talking about the same thing about how even the military has started babying their soldiers and
Yeah.
you know, like when before it just like, you got to be tough.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, now even in the military you don't have to be tough. You know, it's like I can't help but to feel that there's a bigger goal to those people for us people, Americans. They want. I feel like they want to baby the whole society down to where they can control us better.
100%.
Because when you have too many Hanyaks, you gotta go look that word up.
Yeah.
When you got too many Hanyaks, they don't like that.
No.
You know, like we can't be having these people disrupt our society.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what I'm talking about when I mean
Yeah.
their society.
Yeah.
I mean that's really not included us. We're just the workforce for
Yeah.
them.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, we're the worker bees. 100%.
You know.
All right, brother. Well,
I know.
Thanks so much for coming on, man. You got anything you want to tell everybody?
Check out CodyJoeHodges.com. Don't have any new music. We got a CD that just came out a couple years ago. That Country Sound's got 16 tracks on it. Got a Christmas CD. Got Tangled in the Christmas Lights. That's kind of been every Christmas season. It's been like it takes over until February. It will be my number one song.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it'll start dropping off. You know, but from about November till February.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good whether you're putting up the Christmas lights or taking them down. You know, it's just 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2-minute song.
For sure.
But no, I just want to say thank you to you.
Yeah.
For coming all the way over here to the Brazos Bottom.
Yeah.
And now it's just time to get on that ATV ride for a little short ride.
Yeah, let's go have some fun. Let's go kill something. I'm just kidding. All right, y'all. Cody, hey, listen, man. Thanks for coming on for real. I mean, I appreciate it. Thanks for reaching
absolutely,
out.
man. Hey, you're the one that came to me, man. I appreciate that.
Did I? I don't remember. I can't.
I love it.
I can't
I love
keep
it,
track
man.
of who. I'm trying to get everybody on here. I'm trying to get Cody Hibbert on here. I'm trying to get Josh. I'm trying to talk Josh Ward to coming on. I'm trying to just get all my buddies to come on here and let's just have some fun, you know.
Yeah, man.
I wish everybody could come to my place to do it, so that way we can, really just kind of let loose. But it's also fun coming to other people's place too and seeing kind of what they.
And I told myself too. I said, dang. I said, I can't believe I watched the whole podcast with Jack Nelson. It was like an hour and 42 minutes, and I was thinking to myself, I was like. When you was coming over here, I was like, man, I'm not gonna do it that long, and I think it's been longer.
I tell you what, 2 hours and 8 minutes.
2 hours and 8
That's
minutes.
how long we've been going. So, yeah. Oh, dude, there's some of them that get up to 3.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
You just start getting talking, and it's just fun. You're just having a conversation,
yeah.
and it's also because you're talking to people you don't get to talk to all the time.
Yeah.
And you're getting to know each other.
And I feel like we only covered. I mean, it's like we should have covered more stuff, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like we're.
It's just a conversation.
Kind of just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want this to ever feel. I don't ever want this to feel like. An
Well, nothing's
interview.
scripted. Nothing's written down.
Yeah.
Like there's no
No, it's just a fun conversation.
Whatever
Riffing.
comes to mind. Hey,
Because I think that's what people want. I think people want to get to know us as people. I don't think
Do they really?
I do.
Do y'all really?
I do.
I
think
hope so.
I think that's what I think that's why guys like Oliver Anthony blow up, is because he was so, he just let everybody know who he was right out the gate. He just got a lightning fast way to do it, that most of us don't have. I think people want to know. I mean, back in the day.
Well,
You remember back in the day, we'd go buy Guitar World magazine when it had somebody, because we wanted to read the interview, because we wanted to get to know who these people are.
Oh, yeah.
I think people are tired of the fake. I think people are getting fed up with being force-fed crap and seeing people not be who they really are. I think people want to see who you are, and I think that you want to be vulnerable, and they want you to be authentic. I think that's why you're seeing this huge.
Well, there
blow
ain't
up.
no more real than sitting down with somebody for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's it.
With cameras and blinking red lights on them.
Yeah.
know. I mean, because in 2 hours, you're gonna say something.
You gotta be real.
You're gonna say something that might ruffle some feathers in somebody. You know,
absolutely. That's the whole point, man. It's just about just I don't know. That's what I want to do. And so, all right, man. Well, let's get out of here. Let's go have some fun.
You bet. That
Hey,
sounds good, Jeff.
Don't be a butthole.